What's up everyone, Steve here again from RC Tanks and Trucks 24/7, and here I have a pretty cool action camera. The good thing about this guy, it is very cheap considering when you put it up against like the GoPro and all that kind of stuff. If you just want something that's great value for money and it can record 4K and 30 frames per second, maybe the Firefly 8S is for you. Now this guy is from RC Moment. I'll leave the link in the description down below. Quick look around the box: Wi-Fi real-time preview, playback, remote control, stabilized or video stabilization, external microphone supported, 2-inch LCD, and it is 20 meters waterproof. Now here's the specs. We have a Sony 1/2.3-inch 12 megapixel sensor there. It does have super view. Image resolutions are 16, 14, 12, 8.35 and 3 meg. Now this is where this guy stands out because how much this guy costs you, value for money wise. 4K 30 frames per second. 4K 25 frames per second, 4K 25 frames per second in Super View, 2.5K at 60 frames per second, and it also does 1080p at 120 frames a second and 60 frames a second with Super View. Video format is H.264, video or image file, MP4 and JPEG. It's got a 1200 milliamp hour battery. Now it does take a micro SD card up to 128 gigabyte, which is huge. USB 2. Got some dimensions, accessories, all that kind of stuff, but that's enough of that. Let's go see what we get inside the box. Now I use a few of these kind of cameras for my RC stuff, and yeah, they need to be pretty rugged and take a bit of a pounding because especially when you flip and hit the ground quite hard, you want them to be pretty solid. Let's have a look what you get. Alright, there's a device first and foremost, right at the top, and all these type of things look like GoPros and all that kind of stuff. Pretty cool. The good thing about this, it uses the same mounts as a GoPro, so if you have those already in your arsenal, you can use these as well and retrofit the other ones as well. Now here's a waterproof casing that comes with it. It's 20 meters you can go down to apparently, which is really nice. Simple clasp mechanism there. Really small, very tiny. I guess you could put this on your drones, or your quadcopters, and you can see there it's got like a little selfie mirror. So if you're doing vlogging and all that, I guess you could see in there, or just taking a picture, you could see that dome there. That's where you would be in the video frame. Take this protector off. Now power button's at the front here. Push that button there, as you can see it loads up. Now it's not a touch screen, so just bear that in mind. Now let's see what accessories you get with it. Nice little instruction manual here. That's the application you need to download for your Android or iOS device. And it gives us a really in-depth look at everything we need to know. And if you want to read through this, you can, but I won't have time for this video. I don't want to bore you guys with that. But it gives you everything you need, how to navigate through the menus and what all the buttons and notifications, all that kind of stuff does. So if you want to read that, it's there for you. Now we get a bucket load of accessories as well. Lanyard straps. There we go there. The charging cable and data transfer cable. Sweet little lens hood. It's good for the glare, sun glare, I guess. There we go there. That's cool that it comes with it. Heaps and heaps of straps. I'm not going to bore you with all each individual one of these, but as you can see, you get bucket loads of them. There's one for, what's that one there? There you go, that's, so you can put it in there. It's got its own little mount there. Or actually, good thing about this camera, it also does have a standard size mount there, so you can screw it straight to your tripod. Here's another protective mount that can go in. It's got a nice cable there as well. So if you don't want to lose it when you're doing like water sports, if your double-sided tape comes undone, you can always use this cable and secure it as well. Cleaning cloth, stickers, handlebar mount. Wow, it goes on and on. There's so many. Oh, even gives you some cable ties, which is really nice. Wow, you do certainly get a lot. A quick look around the device before I show the menu. It's got like a rubber coated finish here. As you can see, it's got a nice texture. The shutter button at the top, on and off button at the front. Little selfie mirror there, so when you're doing like a selfie or you're doing like a vlog style video, you can just look in that and you know you're in the frame. Speaker there, USB, HD. You've got your 2-inch screen. A little playback button there. Micro USB port. Standard size mount, and then you have your battery in here as well. Okay, now to turn this guy on, you just push and hold the front button there, and you'll see it'll just boot up. Really nice quick boot up as well. And to change from video or photo, you push that front button as well, Simple as that. Now, to get into the menu, you've got these little buttons here. There, you just push one of those, and as you see, that's your navigation keys, and push back or forth. Pretty simple. To select it, you push the top button, and there you go. And then to go back into another menu, click that there, and as you can see, you use these buttons back up to navigate up or down, and we can go all the way to the top. The max frame rate of 4K at 30 frames a second at 16:9, or 4K at 25 frames per second in Super View, and that goes all the way down to 720p at 30 frames a second. So pretty interesting stuff, gives you a lot of options. Now to get back out, you push this front button here. There we go, pretty easy stuff. To select it, obviously you want to push it, and that'll select that required field. Video quality, super fine, fine and normal. Field of view, you can adjust that, wide, medium or narrow. And auto light, on or off. I'm not too sure what auto do, but you can check that out. Gyro sensor, I probably can't select it because of this particular frame rate. Motion detect, I think you can move your hand or clap or do whatever and it'll start recording. Dual files, video stamp, many time-lapse video. Let's check that one out. So it'll take a photo every 1 second, 2 seconds, 5, 10, 30 or 60. That's pretty cool. Loop recording, microphone volume, because you can plug an external microphone in here, because as you see on the side here, it has a HD and it also has a USB cable, and that's where you do charge it. Let's keep going down here. Sharpness, normal, strong or soft. We can keep on going down. Auto white balance, EV value, ISO, metering. So here, as you can see, heaps and heaps of stuff there for you to choose from. It's considering the price point, it is pretty impressive. Get back into the setup. So you can do your photos. So it's in the photo mode. Burst mode. Playback mode, we can play the videos you just took. Car mode. And slow motion. So haven't tried that, so that's pretty cool. And that's recording at 1080p at 120 frames a second for slow motion. And that is all the settings you got, and it'll just go back to the beginning. Now when you push this playback button, it goes directly into your last recorded videos that you just did, or your movies and all that kind of stuff. Now this is at 1080p at 60 frames per second with the gyro stabilization off. Just seeing the difference between light and dark. Now obviously it's not going to be the best test because you're going to do different frame rates and different resolutions, so it's not going to look the best. So I'll just do a couple of each, then maybe later on in the future I'll do a few more. And this is at the same resolution, 1920 by 1080p, 60 frames a second with the gyro stabilization on. See if it makes a bit of a difference. I'm running at the moment, so it keeps it pretty steady. I'm not a big fan of gyro stabilization. I prefer optical image stabilization, but it is on there if you like it. And you know, it does have a slight difference. Sometimes it makes the footage a little bit jello-y, but that's it there. Looks pretty good. From this little viewfinder, the 2-inch screen looks pretty nice. Now this is at 120 frames a second at 1080p, and when you do these other frame rates, the gyro stabilization turns off by default. Now this might be a pretty good compromise. This is 2560 by 1440 at 16.9, 60 frames a second with the Super View option. It has many, it's got 25 frames a second. It's also got 4K 25 frames per second in Super View as well. But I'm not going to put every one of these in this video. So this might be a nice compromise. 2560 by 1440, and on the screen here it tells you the exact frame rate you're doing. and the resolution, so it's nice and easy to make sure, or to, you know, just to check what you are filming in. Really nice. Just have a little quick look around, have a look right up at the sky and come back down to see how it adjusts. So far so good. And for the price of these guys, you can't really beat it. I'll leave the link in the description. Go check that guy out. And it also does have a little selfie, little ball thing at the front here if you want to go. If you're into vlogging and all that kind of stuff, it might serve you well. But, let's have a look. Let's zoom into this. Well, it's got no zoom, but we'll go into this particular leaf here, just to see the clarity of it. There we go. Now I think I might do another video later on where I just separate 4K footage so I can upload it in true 4K and not be compressed into 1080p footage like you're seeing here. And obviously you'll have that fisheye effect which you get for all action cameras, but you can adjust this in editing. Now here's the top resolution. This is 3840 by 2160 or 4K at 30 frames a second, 16:9 aspect ratio. This is the highest this little guy will go. And like I mentioned, you're not going to get the best results out of this because you're chopping different frame rates in the one video and also resolutions, but I thought I'd just put it in this video. And bear in mind that this video will be probably 1080p at 60 frames per second compressed to YouTube standard, so yeah, take it with a grain of salt. Now, obviously it's going to look much better than 1080p footage, and it doesn't have any gyro stabilization or anything like that. It's all turned off as soon as you change into these different modes. So just let you guys know that. But let's have a little quick look. See how it looks when you zoom into something. And it doesn't have the autocorrect lens distortion, so you have to do that when you're editing your videos in post. So guys, hope you enjoyed this video for the Firefly 8S. Now the videos that you just seen, like I mentioned when I was recording them, you're not going to get the exact quality because this video is uploaded in 1080p at 60 frames a second because of my main camera here, but I'm going to be shooting at 1080p at 30 or 60, 120 and then 4K and a 2.5K. You're not going to get the exact quality that you're after, so take it as a grain of salt. If it looks good on the on this particular video, then it's going to look even better when it's the native resolution. So I might do some videos in the future just uploaded in 4K and stuff like that. So any questions, please leave them down below. Leave the link in the description for this guy. It's from RC Moment. Go check it out. If you haven't, please subscribe. Heaps of content, not just this stuff. I've got heaps of RC related stuff. That's what majority of my channel is about. So thanks guys. Steve here again from RC Tanks and Trucks 24/7. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.